About to cut a hole in the roof. Actually, do it.
How lucky you didn't cut them through.
Well, did I? I don't know if I did or not.
What a bummer, eh?
Yeah, now what to do. So we cut the hole, not knowing that this thing was under there. Thank God we didn't cut the wire, because we don't actually know what that wire is. We're assuming it's these lights, but who knows. Now we have a hole in the roof in the wrong spot. Thank God we didn't just cut a hole through the top of the roof to start. Alright, so here we go. Take 2. Yesterday failed because we realized that there was a wire in the way in this bar, but we've decided we're just going to cut this bar. And this wire, it turns out it's just an antenna, so who gives a shit. We're just going to bend it around. Yeah, so now we're about to cut a hole in it. Should be fun.
What are you doing right now?
Cutting a hole in my roof. There's metal everywhere. Drilled a hole from the inside of the car on the 4 corners that we cut out yesterday. Here, here, and here. And I drew a line around the outside of each of the edges. The holes are going to give me a start with the jigsaw. I have a jigsaw metal cutting blade on, so hopefully it'll go through. And yeah, here we go. So getting close to finishing this shit. I've now put some painter's tape around the outside. Now I'm getting ready to caulk, even though I've never caulked anything before in my life. Hopefully I can do this okay. Don't think it's rocket science, but here we go. I can't even see.
No, you're good. You're doing well.
So as I was editing the footage for the Fan-Tastic Fan, I realized I didn't have any footage of the completion of this project, so I'm gonna do my best to kind of run through how we finished it. There wasn't much left that we didn't film, but yeah, I'll take you through it. So that's what it looks like after, what are we on the road, 2 months? After 2 months of travel, the caulking still looks, it doesn't look beautiful, but it has held up very well. We've dealt with a fair share of rain, and it has not leaked at all. So basically what I did is the caulking, as you saw, put a little bit of caulk in each of the screw holes just to make sure that there's no gap or leak in that. Yeah, so that's enough of that. So this is what it looks like on the inside. It's not as perfect as I would have liked. To be honest, like in this corner, I don't know if you can see that, there's a little gap there because that screw is actually not going into the wood like it was supposed to. The wood slipped, and so I kind of made a judgment call saying it's not worth it to try to sort it out. It's gonna do its job. What I would recommend is when you're doing this to really pay attention to where the wood is and line it up perfectly before you do it. There were actually only 4 screws, 1 in each corner. I added 1 here and 1 here just to get into the wood, just to add a bit more security there. That's pretty much it. The only other thing is that this white piece right here actually inserts into the top portion of the fan, and that piece is, I don't really know how to explain it, but it's probably 6 inches thick. And so what I had to do is cut it. I cut it with a jigsaw to make it about an inch and a half thick, and that was the perfect size for our roof. A few last points is that one thing to mention is that you don't have to have it completely perfect when you're cutting the square, because you have about an inch on each side, a little more than an inch of wiggle room, so that, like, realistically you could cut it like a half an inch too wide in each direction, it would still be okay. I mean, obviously you want to get as close to perfect as you can, but you do have some room for error. So this version of the Fan-Tastic Fan that we got is the very base model that they make, I believe. Nothing is automatic, there's no remote for it. But for us, to be honest, it's so close to where we actually sleep, it doesn't make a difference. Like, all it is this hand dial. Let's see if you can see that. Let's focus it a little bit. To open it, you just turn that, very simple. And then to close it, you just go the other way. Then there are, let's just open it. There are 3 speeds. That's 3. When it's on 3, it's very loud. But even on 1, it's not the quietest thing. And with our heads being so close to it, you can hear it. But it's so much better than it being hot. The way this one works is there's no switch to have the air go in or out. It's all in the wiring, and I'll do a total separate video about the electric that we've done in this van. But basically the way we've done it is so that it sucks the air out of the van. So if there's hot air, it sucks the hot air out. And originally we had done it so that it was pushing air in, and we realized right away that we wanted it the opposite way. So all you have to do is crack a window or two and turn this fan on, and it creates a really nice breeze. Makes it it makes it much cooler. And if you're somewhere where it's cold, it's still nice to just have it open, which, like right now we're in Oregon and it's, I don't know, it's almost 32 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius at night, and we still just crack it open just for fresh air, which is really nice. To be honest, like I don't know how people would do van living in like a Toyota Sienna or a minivan of any kind without this Fan-Tastic fan. It's absolutely awesome. It's pretty cheap. I mean, I think we spent $120, $130 on it. There's a link down below in the description if you want to check it out. If you have a bigger van, I would probably recommend going for one of the better versions of this, so you have those options. You could build a switch in yourself for to change the in and out flow of the air. We didn't really feel like it was necessary because straight away we realized it's just better to have it so it's sucking the air out. If you want to have it the other way around though, or you want that option, you could get the fan that has the switch to do that. There's also, I think there's like 6 different models of it. I think there's one that opens automatically depending on the temperature. There's one that you have a remote so you can do that. So if you had a bigger van and you wanted those options, I would definitely recommend that. But no matter what fan you get from Fan-Tastic Fan, or I think it's Dometic that makes it, but all of them I think would be a good product. Like this is the base model and we're very happy with it. Yeah.